He's on the stern.
I'll have a look. Your friends will be really happy to see you.
3.
Oh shit, Bob!
You're welcome.
Good to be back. Thanks.
Hey, puta!
I got him.
Ready for prisoner exchange.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Creative!
Got it.
Driving lead? Nah, take on another Overwatch and play. Make less of them.
Tell me.
What is the status? I repeat, wait for backup.
What the fuck is he doing? Sir, let's go. Load up!
What do you need, a CNI dog?
Wonder, you might want to get that prescription checked. Looks like we're making our entrance! Woohoo!
6 months sober.
Can you lose them?
Split up.
What the fuck?
What's going on in there?
On Vermont. What the fuck, Easy? Initials.
Where are you? The detonators are compromised. Don't let Vermont leave with those detonators.
Get in, losers! We're going fire in the hole, fellas! Incoming! Damn it, Barney!
Man, get the detonators!
Fuck no, I'm saving your dumb ass. Nice work, man, but who...
All my friends.
Location.
Get to
What?
He's on the stern.
By the look. Your friends will be really happy to see you.
3.
Oh shit, Bob!
You're welcome.
Good to be back. Thanks.
Hey, puta!
I got him.
Exchange.
3 minutes.
I see you like to play with. Come and get it, hero. That's the biggest one I got. My butt.
Hello, bye. 12 minutes.
We never make it out of the blast zone.
Hey, you're not going down.
I got an idea. We can. Yeah.
Gunner, give us.
So what? The nuke is about a promotion.
Fuck
Barney? Hey, you're welcome. What the fuck is happening?
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the explosive, over-the-top world of Expendables, a movie that knows exactly what it is and doesn't apologize for it. Get ready for a high-octane recap packed with more firepower than a small army and more one-liners than a stand-up special. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. Our story kicks off with a familiar rumble, the thudding blades of a helicopter cutting through the arid Libyan air. It's Barney Ross, the grizzled leader, alongside his trusted right-hand man, Lee Christmas, and the ever-enthusiastic Gunnar Jensen. They're on a mission, of course, to an abandoned chemical plant where a notorious terrorist, Swardo, is holed up, surrounded by enough goons to start a small war. The choppers descend, kicking up plumes of dessert dust that sting the eyes, even through a screen. Barney, with that classic steely gaze, gives the signal, and the team rappels down, a whisper of ropes against metal, landing with the barely audible thud of practiced professionals. The ground beneath their boots feels like a tinderbox, ready to ignite. And ignite it does. The plant erupts into a symphony of gunfire, the sharp, distinct crack of assault rifles, the deeper, guttural roar of heavy machine guns, and the satisfying thwack of suppressed shots finding their marks. Gunnar, as always, is a whirlwind of destruction, his massive frame barreling through enemy combatants like a particularly enthusiastic bulldozer. He's got that infectious grin on his face, even as he's sending bad guys flying with a well-placed boot to the chest or a crushing blow from his rifle butt. The air thickens with the acrid scent of gunpowder and the metallic tang of expended casings raining down. Lee Christmas, ever the agile knife specialist, moves with a fluid, almost balletic grace through the chaos. His blades flash, catching the glint of the sparse industrial lighting, dispatching foes with silent, surgical precision. You can almost hear the soft shink as his knives find their mark, followed by the muffled thump of bodies collapsing. Barney, meanwhile, is orchestrating the chaos, his shotgun barking out orders with each thunderous blast. The impact feels palpable, a deep thum that echoes through the concrete structures, sending unlucky guards sprawling. Their objective is clear: retrieve the detonators that Swarto intends to sell, detonators that could kick off a global catastrophe. The tension in the air is thick, a palpable hum of danger and adrenaline. They navigate through crumbling corridors, past sparking electrical conduits, each step a testament to years of fighting experience. The distinct clink of a boot on a spent shell casing is the only sound that cuts through the distant gunfire, a tiny, almost subliminal indicator of the relentless action. They corner Swarto, who, despite his villainous demeanor, attempts to feign ignorance. But the Expendables aren't buying it, not even for a second. The scene is a masterclass in controlled mayhem, a perfect chaotic introduction, setting the stage for what's to come. It's like watching a meticulously choreographed metal concert, but with live ammunition. Just as the Expendables think they've got their prize, the briefcase containing the detonators, of course, and are preparing for a smooth exit. The universe decides to throw a wrench into their meticulously planned machine. This wrench, dear friends, comes in the form of Ramit, a towering figure of menace who saunters onto the scene with the casual confidence of someone who knows he's the toughest kid on the block. He's not just a big guy. He moves with a dangerous grace, a predatory calm that immediately ups the ante. The atmosphere, already charged with the scent of spent gunpowder and the lingering echo of explosions, becomes electric with his presence. The subtle scrape of his heavy boots on the gritty concrete announces his arrival, an auditory warning that the real threat has just walked in. Ramit doesn't waste time with pleasantries or prolonged introductions. He's all action, a blur of motion as he effortlessly disarms and incapacitates the few remaining guards with brutal, efficient strikes. You can practically hear the crack of bone and the ragged gasp for air as he demonstrates his terrifying strength. He moves like a coiled spring, a human battering ram, and the impact of his fists feels like a distant thunderclap. His eyes, cold and calculating, lock onto the Expendables. The fight shifts instantly from a methodical clearance operation to a desperate struggle for survival. Gunner, ever the loyal and brave member, steps up to challenge Ramit, his huge frame ready for a brawl. But Ramit is on another level, a force of nature that seems to absorb and redirect Gunner's powerful blows. The sounds of their struggle are raw and visceral, the dull thud of fists connecting with flesh, the grunts of exertion, the rapid whoosh of air as a punch narrowly misses its target. It's a clash of titans, but Ramit clearly has the upper hand, pushing Gunner back with almost contemptuous ease. Then, in a horrific turn of events, during the escalating melee, disaster strikes. Caesar, the team's gentle giant and explosives expert, finds himself in Ramit's deadly path. There's a sudden, jarring thump, a sickening impact that silences the surrounding gunfire for a fleeting, terrifying second. Ramit lands a devastating blow, and Caesar goes down. A pained grunt escaping his lips, his body twisting unnaturally as the force of the strike shatters his arm, pinning him against a piece of heavy machinery. The metallic groan of the crushed arm is an unbearable sound, painting a vivid picture of the sheer power Ramit wields. It's a gut-punch moment for the team, a stark reminder of the stakes. Lee Christmas, seeing his friend in excruciating pain and the team's mission jeopardized, acts on instinct. His knives are a blur, a silver streak in the dim light, aimed with surgical precision. But Ramit, with unnatural speed, parries the attack, his reflexes inhumanly fast, the clink of steel on steel echoing sharply. The team, now scattered and reeling from Caesar's injury, realizes they're in deep trouble. The focus immediately shifts from securing the detonators to saving Caesar. Barney barks urgent commands, his voice raspy with concern but still firm with leadership. The sounds of frantic activity fill the air, the rapid scuff of boots as they try to create a perimeter, the hurried click of reloading weapons. The strained grunts as they attempt to move their fallen comrade. The plan, initially so straightforward, has devolved into a chaotic scramble for survival. The whir of the helicopter's blades, previously a sign of rescue, now seems agonizingly slow to approach. It's a frantic extraction under heavy fire, the ping of bullets ricocheting off their cover a constant, terrifying reminder of the danger. This pivotal scene demonstrates Ramit's formidable power and sets a somber, urgent tone for the rest of the film. It's a brutal reality check, reminding us that even the Expendables aren't invincible, and sometimes, the bad guys actually manage to land a devastating blow. Talk about a morale killer. The air hangs heavy with the metallic scent of burnt explosives and the bitter taste of defeat. The aftermath of Caesar's injury is a raw wound for the team, particularly for Barney. He's a man carved from granite, but you can almost see the weight of guilt pressing down on him, the unspoken question of what if echoing in the tense silence of their makeshift base. The usual boisterous camaraderie is replaced by a somber quiet, punctuated only by the low hum of machinery and the soft clink of a wrench being set down. Barney, a man of action, can't stand idly by. He's restless, his eyes reflecting a deep-seated frustration. He decides to take matters into his own hands, opting for a solo recon mission in a supposedly safe but incredibly nimble private plane. It's vintage, a beautifully crafted piece of machinery, the engine's soft whine a deceptive lullaby before the storm. Lee Christmas, with a worried frown etched onto his face, tries to dissuade him, his voice a low rumble of concern. He knows Barney's driven by that survivor's guilt, that desperate need to make things right. But Barney, being Barney, is resolute, his jaw set with that familiar grim determination. He offers a quick, almost melancholic goodbye, a moment that feels too final, too loaded with unspoken farewells. The plane's engine roars to life, a guttural growl that shakes the tarmac, and it streaks down the runway, ascending into the twilight sky. The sight of it climbing higher, smaller and smaller against the vast expanse, feels symbolic. Lee watches, a knot of unease tightening in his stomach, the low thrum of the plane's engines slowly fading into the distance. But peace is a fleeting illusion in their world. Out of nowhere, a missile streaks across the sky, a thin, silver dart of destruction, its whoosh cutting through the night with terrifying speed. It's Ramit again, always Ramit, a phantom menace proving he's always one step ahead. The missile strikes Barney's plane with a sickening thump and a blinding flash of light. For a split second, there's an eerie silence, a moment of disbelief, before the plane erupts into a colossal fireball. The explosion is deafening, a monstrous boom that reverberates across the landscape, rattling the very ground beneath Lee's feet. The shockwave hits, a wave of displaced air that rustles his hair and makes him instinctively flinch. Flames engulf the aircraft, a terrifying blossom of orange and red against the inky black of the night sky, pieces of debris scattering like fiery confetti over the dark ocean. You can almost feel the heat from the inferno, even from a distance. The metallic shriek of tearing metal, the rapid pop-pop-pop of smaller internal explosions, all contribute to the horrifying spectacle. Lee Christmas watches, stunned, his face illuminated by the furious blaze, the smoke stinging his eyes. The roar of the explosion slowly fades, leaving an awful, ringing silence in its wake, broken only by the gentle lapping of waves against the distant shore. It's a silence that speaks volumes, confirming the unspeakable. Barney Ross, the legendary leader, the heart and soul of the Expendables, is gone. Or so it seems. The scene is a masterclass in emotional manipulation, designed to make you believe that one of the core pillars of the franchise has truly fallen. It's a raw, visceral moment that leaves Lee and the audience reeling. The sense of loss is palpable, a heavy cloak draped over the remaining team members, especially Lee, who feels the crushing weight of witnessing his friend's apparent demise. The taste of ash and defeat settles in, a somber note that suggests a new, darker chapter has begun for the Expendables. The splash of the last fiery remnants hitting the water is a mournful final chord, with Barney seemingly gone. A gaping hole is left not just in the Expendables team, but in the very fabric of the universe, or at least their gritty corner of it. The weight of his absence is a tangible thing, a heavy silence that no amount of bravado can fill. The world, however, doesn't stop for mourning, especially when a nuclear catastrophe looms large. So in steps Marsh, the ever-so-slightly shifty CIA handler, played with just the right amount of enigmatic charm to fill that void. And his solution? New blood, lots of it. First up, we're introduced to Gina, played by Megan Fox, who immediately proves she's not just a pretty face, but a force of nature. We see her in action, engaged in some seriously impressive sparring, the whiz of her kicks and the sharp thud of her punches painting a clear picture of her combat prowess. She moves with a lean, dangerous agility, her movements precise and powerful, showcasing a lifetime of training. You can almost feel the air displacement as she pivots and strikes. It's clear she's no stranger to getting her hands, and probably feet, dirty. What makes this even more spicy? She's Lee Christmas's ex-girlfriend. Oh, the awkward tension. The unspoken history. You can practically hear the collective groan of romantic drama fans as they realize this is going to be more than just a professional reunion. The air around them crackles with unresolved issues, a quiet sizzle that hints at past disagreements and lingering feelings. Marsh, with his smirk that suggests he enjoys a good bit of interpersonal drama as much as he does geopolitical chess, brings her into the fold. But Gina isn't the only fresh face joining the party. We're also introduced to Lash, played by Levi Tran, who brings a fierce, almost feral energy to the team. She's all sharp angles and quick movements, her preferred weapon being a pair of wickedly effective dual blades. The shink-shink of her knives being drawn and spun is a distinct sound cue, promising swift and deadly action. Then there's Galen, played by Jacob Scipio, the son of the legendary original Expendable, Antonio Banderas' character. Galen is a charming, quick-witted, and incredibly skilled operative, inheriting his father's flair for the dramatic and his knack for getting into and out of sticky situations. His playful banter, delivered with a quick snap of wit, adds a much-needed splash of levity to the grim situation. Rounding out the new ensemble is Easy Day, portrayed by 50 Cent, who serves as the team's tech and comms expert, always ready with a dry comment and a solution to any digital conundrum. He's the brains behind the brawn, his fingers flying across keyboards with a soft clatter, conjuring data from thin air. Marsh lays out the mission with a grave tone, his voice a low, serious rumble that cuts through the underlying tension. He explains that Ocelot, the mysterious mastermind they've been chasing, is still out there, orchestrating global chaos, and the detonators are still a major threat. The new team, a blend of raw talent and seasoned experience, is tasked with retrieving them. It's clear this isn't just a new mission. It's a passing of the torch, a stark reminder that even without Barney, the Expendables fight continues. The new dynamic is palpable, a mix of apprehension, ambition, and the quiet determination to prove themselves worthy successors. The faint click of a rifle being loaded in the background reminds us that this isn't going to be a walk in the park. It's an exciting, albeit slightly bittersweet, introduction to the future of the franchise, showcasing a vibrant new energy while acknowledging the heavy loss that necessitated their assembly. And let's be honest, who doesn't love watching a perfectly executed roundhouse kick from Megan Fox? With the new team assembled, albeit with the lingering ghost of Barney Ross hanging in the air like an inexorcised specter, it's time for the nitty-gritty. And where do you have nitty-gritty discussions about global annihilation? Why in a super-secret, impossibly high-tech briefing room? Of course. Think flickering screens, holographic displays, and enough shiny surfaces to make a magpie swoon. Marsh, the mysterious handler, takes center stage, his voice modulated to a serious, almost theatrical tone that suggests he's delivering information of utmost gravity. The room hums with the lure of advanced technology, a stark contrast to the rough and tumble world the Expendables usually inhabit. He stands before a massive, glowing holographic map, a digital projection that displays shimmering red lines and ominous blinking dots, representing the far-reaching tendrils of a new global threat. This is where the plot really thickens, like a particularly dense stew. The culprit? An elusive, phantom-like terrorist known only by the codename Ocelot. The name itself carries a whisper of cunning and danger, conjuring images of a shadowy figure pulling strings from the darkest corners of the world. Marsh explains, with a gravitas that suggests he's read every spy novel ever written, that Ocelot is no ordinary bad guy. This villain has a plan so dastardly, so audacious, it could plunge the entire planet into World War III. The stakes? Oh, just everything, really. The freedom of humanity, the very air we breathe, the ability to enjoy a quiet Tuesday evening, all hanging precariously in the balance. The specific MacGuffin thereafter, the linchpin of Ocelot's nefarious scheme, are those very same nuclear detonators that Suardo was trying to sell. It turns out Suardo was just a pawn, a minor player in a much larger, more terrifying game of global dominoes. Marsh's description is painted with broad, urgent strokes, emphasizing the ticking clock and the catastrophic consequences of failure. He gestures dramatically at the holographic map, the lines tracing potential routes of destruction, the red dots pulsating ominously. The quiet click of the holographic display updating provides a subtle, almost unnerving, underscore to his words. The new team listens intently, a mix of apprehension and fierce determination in their eyes. Gina, with her sharp intelligence, asks probing questions, her voice clear and concise, cutting through the jargon. Lash, ever ready for action, adjusts her grip on a phantom knife, her eyes scanning the room, already envisioning potential combat scenarios. Galen, with a hint of his father's theatricality, offers a wry observation, a small moment of levity in the face of impending doom. Easy Day, glued to his tablet, is already processing data, his fingers flying silently across the screen, the faint tap-tap-tap of keys only audible if you're straining your ears. The briefing is a meticulous dance between information dissemination and psychological priming. Marsh isn't just giving them facts. He's instilling a sense of responsibility, a call to duty that transcends personal grievances or past heartbreaks. The gravity of their task settles over them like a heavy cloak. This isn't just about revenge for Barney or for Caesar's injury. It's about preventing a global catastrophe. The low hum of the server racks in the background almost sounds like a countdown, adding to the palpable tension. It's a classic setup, but effectively done, laying the groundwork for the explosive action sequences that are inevitably heading our way. Who doesn't love a good save-the-world plot, especially when it involves a shadowy figure called Ocelot and enough nuclear firepower to vaporize a small continent? Mission accepted, stakes understood, now it's time for the boots-on-the-ground action. The scene shifts dramatically from the clinical sterility of the briefing room to the humid, teeming life of Southeast Asia. We're talking dense jungle. The air thick with the buzzing of unseen insects and the pungent scent of damp earth and exotic flora. The darkness is almost absolute, broken only by the occasional shimmer of moonlight filtering through the impossibly dense canopy, or the distant, twinkling lights of a coastal outpost. This is the kind of place where things go bump in the night, and usually, those things are heavily armed bad guys. The new Expendables team, spearheaded by Gina, executes a textbook infiltration. They're rappelling down, silently descending into what looks like a heavily guarded dock facility or a secluded jungle compound. The only sound is the soft creak of ropes under tension, the barely audible scuff of boots against rough surfaces, and the rhythmic drip 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 of water echoing somewhere in the darkness. It's a testament to their training, a seamless, synchronized descent that speaks volumes about their professionalism. Gina moves with precision, her form fluid and athletic, her eyes constantly scanning the environment for any signs of trouble. She's in command, a leader by sheer force of competence, and the team follows her lead without question. Lash, with her twin blades sheathed but ready, moves like a shadow, her movements light and agile, almost feline. You can practically hear the subtle rustle of leaves as she pauses, minimal and controlled. Galen, ever the charismatic operative, blends his stealth with a certain swagger, his eyes darting with intelligence and a hint of mischief. Easy Day, the tech wizard, is setting up his gear with quiet efficiency. The soft click of his keyboard keys a stark contrast to the surrounding wilderness, establishing their comms link and scanning for any digital footprints. The objective is to penetrate the facility, gather intel, and hopefully retrieve those pesky detonators before Ocelot can use them to kick off his global fireworks display. They navigate treacherous terrain, muddy paths that threaten to betray their presence with a sucking squelch, thick undergrowth that snags at their tactical gear, and the occasional suspicious snap of a twig underfoot that makes everyone freeze. Weapons raised, hearts hammering a silent rhythm against their ribs. The tension is palpable, thick enough to cut with one of Lash's blades. Every shadow could hide a threat. Every distant sound could be an enemy patrol. The low, almost inaudible crackle in their earpieces is their only link to the outside world, a whisper of information in a sea of unknown dangers. They work in perfect synchronicity, a well-oiled machine despite being a newly formed unit. They breach the perimeter, a feat of stealth and tactical planning, avoiding laser grids and silent tripwires. The swoosh of a security camera panning is narrowly avoided, a shared glance of relief passing between team members. The metallic tang of salty air from the nearby ocean mixes with the earthy scent of the jungle, creating a unique, almost cinematic, olfactory experience. It's a beautifully executed sequence, showcasing the new team's individual skills and their budding collective chemistry. They are clearly formidable, a worthy successor to the original crew, proving that even without Barney's presence, the Expendables still pack a serious punch. The scene emphasizes their competence and sets up the impending confrontation, raising the stakes and building the anticipation for what comes next. What could possibly go wrong, right? The classic moment of hubris, where our heroes think they've outsmarted the bad guys, only to find themselves perfectly ensnared. It's a trope as old as time, and the Expendables, new blood or old, are not immune. The new team, having executed their infiltration with the grace of a deadly ballet, finds themselves deep inside the enemy compound, perhaps a little too confident, a tad too relieved. The hum of their victory, however subtle, is about to be violently silenced, just as they're about to make their move on the elusive detonators, or perhaps cornering a crucial piece of intel. The trap springs. It's not a subtle springing, mind you, but a violent, overwhelming surge of Ramat's forces. They pour out of every shadow, every hidden crevice, surrounding the Expendables with a speed and precision that speaks volumes about Ocelot's intelligence network. The silence of their infiltration is shattered by a sudden cacophony, the roar of unseen engines, the harsh snap of automatic weapons being cocked, and the guttural shouts of dozens of armed men. The air immediately thickens with the smell of danger and the acrid tang of gunpowder, even before a shot is fired. The Expendables, though formidable, are severely outnumbered and outmaneuvered. Gina, quick to react, barks orders, her voice sharp with urgency. Lash's blades flash in the dim light, a furious blur of silver as she attempts to carve a path through the onslaught, the shink of her blades cutting through the air, followed by the soft thud of a body. Galen unleashes a flurry of precise, powerful blows, his movements economical and lethal, the sharp crack of his fists connecting echoing through the confined space. Easy Day, ever resourceful, tries to hack into the system, his fingers flying across his comms device, but even his tech wizardry can't overcome a perfect ambush. The fight is brutal, fast, and desperate. Punches land with sickening thuds, the metallic clang of weapons colliding rings out, and bodies crash against walls with bone-jarring impacts. The sheer volume of enemy combatants is overwhelming. It's like trying to fight off a swarm of angry, heavily armed bees. Despite their exceptional skills, the Expendables are slowly, inexorably pushed back, their efforts becoming more defensive, less offensive. The sound of their heavy breathing, strained and ragged, becomes more prominent against the rising tide of enemy shouts. Then Raman himself appears, a towering, unstoppable force, his eyes glinting with malicious satisfaction. His movements are impossibly fast, his strikes devastating. He seems to be everywhere at once, disarming, incapacitating, and delivering knockout blows with terrifying efficiency. The dull thwack of his fist against a body is a sound of finality. One by one, the new team members are overwhelmed. There's the metallic click of restraints being fastened, the rough yank as they are pulled into submission. The scene is a stark, brutal reminder that even the best laid plans can go awry when you're up against a truly intelligent and resourceful foe. Ocelot, through Ramit, has proven to be several steps ahead, turning the hunters into the hunted. The feeling of helplessness is palpable, a heavy weight settling on the viewer as these capable operatives are swiftly, efficiently neutralized. It's a devastating blow to the mission, a crushing defeat that leaves the fate of the world hanging by an even thinner thread. The muffled thump of a weapon falling to the ground after a team member is subdued feels like the death knell for their mission. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. A frustrating twist that highlights the competence of the villains and the dire situation of our captured heroes. The news hits Lee Christmas like a physical blow. The new team, his ex-girlfriend, his friends captured. The official word comes down with that familiar bureaucratic chill, mission compromised, assets irrecoverable. But for Lee, irrecoverable isn't in his vocabulary, especially when it comes to his people. You can practically hear the snap of his patience breaking. He's initially seen in a dingy, dimly lit bar, the clinking of glasses and the low murmur of conversations a stark contrast to the storm brewing within him. The taste of stale beer and desperation fills the air. The internal conflict is palpable. Follow orders, or follow his gut? It's not really a choice for someone like Lee Christmas. He's a man of action, a man of loyalty, and a man who definitely doesn't play by the rules when his friends are in peril. So, with a grin set to his jaw and a fire in his eyes that hasn't been seen since Barney's death, Lee decides to go rogue. Official channels are out. Personal vendetta is in. He moves with a quiet intensity, a focused fury that is both terrifying and admirable. The scene transitions to him, a makeshift armory, or perhaps his personal stash, meticulously gathering his gear. This isn't just grabbing a few guns. This is a ritual. The soft clink of metal on metal as he selects his knives, each one a familiar extension of his hand, speaks volumes. You can almost feel the cold, sharp edge of the steel. He inspects his firearms with a practiced eye, the smooth click-clack of a magazine being inserted, the satisfying snick of a safety being disengaged. Every movement is precise, economical, reflecting years of ingrained habit. The scent of gun oil and leather fills the air around him, a comforting perfume for a man about to walk into hell. He packs light but effectively, his signature throwing knives, a variety of pistols, a trusty assault rifle, and enough tactical gear to vanish into the shadows or fight his way out of a fortified bunker. The gentle whoosh of air as he slips a vest on, the soft thud as he secures a holster, every action is deliberate. He's not just preparing for a mission, he's preparing for a war, and he's going into it alone. Well, mostly alone. His conviction is etched onto his face, a raw determination that silences any doubts. The distant hum of the city outside, oblivious to the personal war he's about to wage, only emphasizes his solitude. This sequence is all about Lee Christmas asserting himself as the true protagonist of this particular story, stepping out of Barney's shadow and embracing his own brand of ruthless heroism. It's a moment of quiet, simmering rage transforming into unstoppable resolve. The audience gets a palpable sense of his burning desire for justice and his unwavering loyalty to his friends. You can almost hear his heart beating, a steady, powerful rhythm against the backdrop of his preparations. This scene is the genesis of his personal crusade, a testament to the idea that sometimes the most effective path to saving the world is to just ignore everyone and do it yourself. With extreme prejudice and a whole lot of sharp objects. Let's just say his idea of a personal day involves a lot of lead and significantly fewer spa treatments. Asterisk. Just when Lee Christmas is at his absolute grittiest, a lone wolf on a mission of vengeance, convinced he's fighting a solitary battle against impossible odds, the movie delivers a twist that makes you audibly gasp, or at least perform a dramatic eye roll of "I knew it." This is the moment the franchise reminds you it's called Expendables for a reason, and they don't exactly stay expended for long. Lee, following a lead, or perhaps just his incredibly strong sense of dramatic irony, finds himself in a secluded, hidden location. It's the kind of place that smells faintly of old leather, gun oil, and secrets, perhaps a dusty old safe house or a remote workshop. The only sound is the soft creak of an old floorboard, the distant drip of a leaky pipe, and the heavy thump of his own anxious heart. He's expecting a contact, a clue, perhaps another dead end. What he gets instead is a ghost. From the shadows, stepping into the dim, dusty light emerges none other than Barney Ross, alive and, dare I say, looking rather pleased with himself. The surprise on Lee's face is priceless, a perfect blend of utter shock, profound relief, and probably a tiny flicker of "you son of a gun" fury. You can almost hear the breath catch in Lee's throat. The silence in the room is thick, charged with unspoken questions and profound emotion. Barney, ever the showman, has a subtle smirk playing on his lips. He explains in that gravelly voice that just oozes authority that his death was, in fact, an elaborate ruse, a carefully orchestrated charade designed to draw out the real puppet master behind Ocelot, a deep-cover operative who was suspected of being the true villain, but couldn't be exposed through conventional means. The story unfolds with a series of flashbacks, quick cuts showing how he survived the plane explosion, the meticulously planned escape, the careful construction of his death. The metallic clang of some unseen machinery in the background seems to punctuate his explanation, adding to the gravitas of his reveal. The motive was simple yet complex. Only by removing himself from the board could he truly observe who would make the decisive moves, who would fill the power vacuum and thus reveal the true enemy pulling all the strings. It was a calculated risk, a high-stakes gamble with his own life as the ante. He knew it would shatter the team, devastatingly, but for the greater good. He took that agonizing leap of faith. The conversation is loaded with emotional weight. Lee's initial anger, the feeling of betrayal, slowly gives way to understanding and then to a renewed burning focus. The low thrum of a distant generator adds to the clandestine atmosphere. The sound of Barney's voice, firm and reassuring, is a melody of relief to Lee's ears. The reunion isn't just about two friends coming back together. It's about the heart of the Expendables being restored. It's about knowing that even when things look utterly hopeless, sometimes the legends just refuse to stay down. The sudden appearance of Barney, still rocking that cool bandana, is a fantastic moment of earned fan service, a defiant middle finger to narrative expectations. It also means the original gang is back, or at least part of it, ready to unleash some serious old-school mayhem. The subtle click of Barney's lighter as he lights a cigar is the perfect punctuation mark to his grand reveal. A masterstroke of a reveal, if you ask me. I mean, did anyone actually think Barney was gone for good? Please. With Barney back from his not-so-permanent vacation, the dynamic shifts instantly. The energy is revitalized. The mood is lighter, even if the mission itself is still as grim as a tax audit. Barney, of course, isn't one to waste time on sentimentality, not when there's a world to save and a captured team to rescue. The target? Ramat's colossal cargo ship, a floating fortress that's likely teeming with bad guys and, more importantly, holding the new Expendables captive, along with those ever-elusive nuclear detonators. This isn't just any ship. It's a hulking behemoth, a metallic beast cutting through the dark waters. Its presence is stark, imposing silhouette against the moonless sky. You can almost feel the rhythmic thrum of its massive engines vibrating through the water, a deep, resonant rumble that signifies its power. Barney and Lee, a duo reborn, approach the vessel with the stealth and precision of seasoned predators. They're not storming it, not yet anyway. This is a surgical infiltration, a silent dance of shadows. The scene is a masterclass in tension, punctuated by the subtle sounds of their covert operation. The gentle slap of water against the ship's hull is almost the loudest sound as they secure their climbing gear, the soft snick of a grappling hook latching onto a metal beam. They ascend the cold, damp steel superstructure with practiced ease, their movements synchronized, efficient, almost imperceptible. The metallic scrape of boots finding purchase on the ship's grimy ladder, the careful creak of a door being pried open with a silent tool. Every sound is amplified by the sheer danger of their predicament. Barney, with his gruff commands and intuitive understanding of enemy patterns, leads the way. Lee, always his loyal wingman, is right behind him, his senses honed, his knives at the ready. They move through narrow gangways, past stacks of ominous-looking cargo containers, each one a potential hiding spot for an enemy operative. The air smells of salt, diesel, and the underlying scent of tension. They encounter guards, but these aren't your run-of-the-mill mooks. These are Ramat's elite, vigilant, and dangerous. Yet, Barney and Lee dispatch them with brutal efficiency. The thud of a silent takedown, the muffled grunt of a surprised enemy, followed by the quiet clink of a weapon being set down gently so as not to alert others. There are no explosions yet, no hails of gunfire, just the precise, almost balletic violence of professionals at work. The whir of a security camera is expertly avoided, the faint beep of a motion sensor bypassed, with practiced ease. The scene builds slowly, methodically, layering on the suspense, each step bringing them closer to their captured teammates and the ticking time bomb of the detonators. You get a real sense of the ship's labyrinthine interior, the claustrophobic corridors, the dark, cavernous cargo holds. The low hum of the ship's ventilation system, combined with the distant clank of heavy machinery, creates an atmospheric backdrop for their dangerous journey. It's a reminder that sometimes the most exciting action isn't the loudest, but the most precise and tense. And let's be honest, watching two legends move with such deadly grace after all these years is a satisfying cinematic experience. Like watching a particularly deadly, very well-oiled machine, asterisk. The quiet stealth of the infiltration phase? Gone, vanished, replaced by a cacophony of glorious, over-the-top violence that only an Expendables movie can deliver. Once Barney and Lee locate the new team, held captive in some predictably grimy and heavily guarded section of the ship, the gloves come off, and the mayhem button is pressed firmly. The first hint of impending chaos is often a muffled thump followed by a distant crump as Barney or Lee deploy some strategically placed explosive. The ship, previously only humming with the sounds of its engines, now groans under the impact of the unfolding battle. Suddenly, the claustrophobic corridors become shooting galleries, the cargo holds transform into arenas of destruction. Automatic weapon fire erupts, the distinctive rat-a-tat-tat of machine guns joining the sharper crack of assault rifles. The sound of bullets ricocheting off metal walls, a metallic ping that echoes with lethal intent, becomes the constant soundtrack. Barney, with his signature shotgun, unleashes thunderous blasts that feel like cannon fire, each boom sending enemies flying and creating satisfyingly large holes in the ship's interior. Lee, a blur of motion, combines his precise knife work with rapid-fire pistol shots, the pop-pop-pop of his handgun punctuated by the soft, swift chink of steel as he dispatches foes in close quarters. The objective is twofold: free the new team and get their hands on those detonators. The new team, once freed, immediately springs into action, rejoining the fray with a fierce vengeance. Gina, with her powerful kicks and punches, becomes a whirlwind of combat, the thwack of her hits and the sharp whoosh of her movement cutting through the chaos. Lash, now fully unleashed, is a whirlwind of spinning blades, their metallic whine a prelude to swift, deadly takedowns. Galen, with his energetic combat style, uses everything at his disposal, his fists, feet, and surroundings becoming weapons, the satisfying crunch of an elbow strike landing echoing through the melee. Easy Day, even in the thick of the fight, is probably still trying to hack something, providing tactical support and, no doubt, a few sarcastic comments. The ship itself becomes a character, groaning and creaking under the strain of explosions. Flames lick at exposed wires, sending sparks flying with a theatrical fizzle. The air fills with the acrid scent of smoke, ozone, and fresh gunpowder. The sound of shattering glass, tearing metal, and the yells of both friend and foe create a visceral, immersive experience. It's a symphony of destruction, a beautiful, violent ballet of trained killers taking back what's theirs. The pace is relentless, a continuous barrage of action sequences seamlessly flowing into one another. The camera work is tight, capturing the raw energy of each punch, each explosion, the spray of debris. The sheer force of their combined assault is a sight to behold, a testament to the Expendables' enduring power, both old and new. There's a palpable sense of triumph as the team, united once more, fights its way through overwhelming odds, demonstrating that despite the setbacks, they are an unstoppable force. The metallic scrape of heavy machinery being tossed aside, the satisfying thud of a final enemy going down, it all contributes to the adrenaline-fueled exhilaration of the scene. It's an absolute blast, a pure, unadulterated action spectacle. Who needs nuanced dialogue when you have this much glorious, explosive chaos? After the glorious symphony of explosions and gunfire, the noise eventually settles into something more personal, more primal. This is it, the main event, the grudge match everyone's been waiting for. Lee Christmas versus Romet. No more distractions, no more cannon fodder, just two incredibly deadly individuals locked in a brutal dance of death. The setting is often a confined space on the ship, perhaps a control room or a specific deck, allowing for a concentrated burst of intense, bone-jarring action. The air is still thick with the lingering scent of smoke and spent casings, but the dominant sound now is the heavy thud of fists, the sharp crack of impacts, and the strained grunts of exertion. Romet is a beast, a seemingly unmovable force of raw, unadulterated power. His punches carry the weight of a sledgehammer, each one a potential knockout blow, accompanied by a guttural whoosh as they cut through the air. Lee, however, is pure agility, a blur of motion, ducking, weaving, and countering with the precision of a surgeon. His movements are fluid, almost liquid, a stark contrast to Romet's more direct, brute force approach. The metallic shink of Lee's knives, as he attempts to land a precise strike, is a constant, terrifying reminder of his lethality. But Romet is incredibly resilient, shrugging off hits that would incapacitate a lesser man, his skin seeming to absorb the blows with a dull thud. It's a relentless back and forth, a testament to both men's incredible durability and skill. Lee uses the environment to his advantage, slamming Romet into bulkheads with a resounding clang, using pipes and machinery as leverage. The sounds of their struggle are incredibly visceral, the smash of a fist against metal, the gasp of a missed breath, the guttural roar of Romet as he presses his advantage. The choreography is fantastic, showcasing a blend of martial arts and street fighting, with every move feeling earned and impactful. You can almost feel the sweat stinging their eyes, the ragged breathing, the burning muscles as they push themselves to their absolute limits. This isn't just a fight, it's a deeply personal confrontation. Lee is fighting for Caesar, for Barney's death, for the captured team, and for the entire world. There's a raw intensity in his eyes, a desperate resolve that pushes him through the pain. Ramit, on the other hand, fights with a cold, almost detached ruthlessness, enjoying the sheer destruction he inflicts. The fight feels like a ticking clock, with the detonators still counting down, adding another layer of urgency to the already desperate battle. The metallic screech of bending metal, the shower of sparks as a stray bullet or perhaps a desperate kick hits an electrical panel, all contribute to the dramatic backdrop. There's a beautiful brutality to it, a respect for the sheer physicality of the conflict. Each blow feels heavy, each dodge feels critical. The silence that occasionally falls between exchanges of blows is more terrifying than any noise, highlighting the intense focus of the combatants. It's a clash of styles, a battle of wits and strength, and the audience is right there in the thick of it, feeling every single impact. When the final blow lands or the final maneuver is executed, the resulting thud and fall of Ramit is incredibly satisfying, a moment of hard-won victory that feels truly earned. It's the culmination of hours of tension and violence delivered with a satisfying, decisive punch. A good old-fashioned brawl, just the way we like M, with extra grit and a side of vengeance. Alright, so Ramit's down for the count, presumably taking a very long nap courtesy of Lee Christmas. The team breathes a collective sigh of relief, thinking the shadowy ocelot has finally been neutralized and the world is safe once more. But in the grand tradition of espionage thrillers and movies that love a good gotcha moment, the film hits us with a twist that makes everyone in the audience go, "Wait a minute, I knew it." The true identity of Ocelot is dramatically revealed, and it's none other than Marsh, the smooth-talking CIA handler who brought the new team together. Yes, the guy who gave the briefings, the one who seemed to be pulling the strings from the good guy side. Turns out he was pulling all the strings. The atmosphere in the immediate aftermath of Ramit's defeat, which had been thick with the taste of victory, suddenly sours, replaced by a chilling sense of betrayal. The shift is palpable, a sudden drop in temperature. Marsh, shedding his benign facade, reveals himself to be the ultimate antagonist, a master manipulator with a plan far more insidious and personal than simple global chaos. His voice, previously calm and authoritative, now takes on a cold, calculating edge, each word delivered with a precision that cuts deeper than any knife. He explains his master plan with a chilling clarity, detailing how he orchestrated the entire conflict, manipulating both sides, the Expendables and the supposed terrorists, to achieve his own geopolitical agenda. The whole nuclear detonator crisis was just a smokescreen, a complex charade to achieve a much grander, more self-serving goal. The revelations come fast and furious, accompanied by the subtle whoosh of data being displayed on hidden screens, confirming his intricate web of deceit. The sound of his calm, assured voice is almost more terrifying than any explosion. He wasn't just after the detonators. He was leveraging the entire situation to eliminate rivals, seize control of strategic assets, and reshape the global power structure to his own design. His ambition is boundless, his morality non-existent. The Expendables, now reeling from this shocking betrayal, are left stunned, their faces a mixture of anger, disbelief, and a grudging respect for the sheer audacity of his deception. Barney, ever the pragmatist, probably gives a low grunt of begrudging admiration for the complexity of the lie, even as his eyes burn with righteous fury. Lee Christmas looks like he's ready to introduce Marsh to a very sharp, very pointy object. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut, a heavy, suffocating blanket of realization. The low hum of the ship's damaged systems seems to mirror the sudden, jarring shift in the narrative. This twist recontextualizes everything that came before it, turning previous moments of danger and sacrifice into calculated moves in Marsh's twisted game. It's a classic spy thriller move, designed to yank the rug out from under the audience and raise the stakes even higher. You thought you knew who the bad guy was? Think again. This kind of reveal can either make or break a movie, and in Expendables, it adds a layer of unexpected complexity, however thinly veiled. It means the true enemy was not some faceless terrorist, but someone seemingly on their side, a far more insidious threat than any amount of visible firepower. And honestly, it makes you wonder how many other marsh types are lurking in the shadows. A chilling thought, almost as chilling as the clink of a glass of celebratory champagne Marsh probably had planned for himself. Okay, so Marsh is the big bad, and he's not just a mastermind. He's decided to turn the entire ship into his personal doomsday device, rigged with those very same nuclear detonators that started this whole mess. Talk about tying up loose ends with a bang. The ticking clock is now literal. A harsh, incessant beep 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 that echoes through the damaged ship, making every punch, every shot, every breath feel agonizingly urgent. The tension is palpable, a frantic race against absolute obliteration. The reunited Expendables, Barney, Lee, Gina, Lash, Galen, and Easy Day are now united in a singular, desperate purpose: stop Marsh and disarm the explosives before the entire thing goes kaboom, taking a good chunk of the ocean and potentially the world with it. The final confrontation erupts into a furious ballet of coordinated chaos. Marsh has his own elite forces, of course, because what's a villain without his loyal, expendable minions? The ship becomes a war zone, a swirling vortex of gunfire, close quarters combat, and exploding debris. The rat-a-tat-tat of assault rifles and the thunderous boom of Barney's shotgun mixed with the sharp crack of Lee's pistols and the visceral thud of Gina's powerful kicks. Lash's blades shimmer through the air with a deadly whiz, dispatching foes with surgical precision, while Galen uses his athleticism to outmaneuver and outfight Marsh's goons. Easy Day, ever the multitasker, is probably fighting off bad guys with one hand while desperately trying to hack the detonators with the other, his fingers flying across a jury-rigged console. The soft clatter of keys a stark contrast to the surrounding pandemonium. Marsh, however, isn't just a strategist. He's also a formidable fighter himself, engaging the team with a cold, ruthless efficiency. His moves are calculated, precise, reflecting a lifetime of combat experience, contrasting sharply with the more emotional, visceral fighting styles of the Expendables. The fight is personal, messy, and incredibly intense. Explosions tear through various parts of the ship, shaking the very ground beneath their feet, sending showers of sparks and metallic shrapnel flying with a terrifying shriek. The air is thick with smoke, the metallic tang of blood, and the acrid scent of burning electronics. The low groan of the ship's straining hull adds to the sense of impending doom. The climax sees a desperate struggle to prevent the detonation, a furious last-ditch effort to manually override the system, with precious seconds ticking away. The ping of the countdown timer grows louder, more insistent, a merciless harbinger of destruction. Finally, with a heroic, last-second effort, the detonators are neutralized, or at least redirected, just as the ship itself suffers catastrophic damage. The grand finale is, of course, a truly spectacular explosion. The ship erupts in a massive, blinding flash of light and a deafening roar that shakes the very heavens. It's a fiery blossom of destruction, tearing the vessel apart with immense force, sending a colossal wave of water and debris into the sky. The sound is overwhelming, a physical assault on the senses, followed by a resonant whoosh of rushing air and the subsequent splash of countless tons of metal and water collapsing back into the ocean. Our heroes, naturally, escape in the nick of time, often on a smaller, faster vessel, watching the fiery spectacle from a safe distance, the heat of the inferno still palpable on their faces. The ringing in their ears is probably accompanied by the satisfied smirk of a job well done. It's a fittingly explosive end to a truly explosive movie, leaving nothing but a lingering sense of awe at the sheer scale of the destruction. Because really, what's an Expendables movie without a ridiculously massive explosion to punctuate the climax? So the ship's gone. Marsh is undoubtedly enjoying a very fiery, watery retirement, and the world is once again safe from imminent nuclear oblivion. Time for the triumphant regroup, a well-deserved moment of quiet camaraderie before the next explosion undoubtedly calls. The surviving Expendables, a little bruised, a little battered, but utterly victorious, find themselves in a calm, scenic location, likely a picturesque beach or a secure, sun-drenched hideout. The air, previously thick with smoke and gunpowder, now smells fresh, carrying the clean scent of the ocean and the promise of peace. The soft lapping of waves against the shore provides a soothing backdrop, a stark contrast to the ear-splitting chaos they've just endured. Barney, with that signature smirk that implies he knew it would all work out, is probably already lighting a celebratory cigar. The soft click of his lighter and the faint hiss of the cherry glowing providing a comforting sound. Lee Christmas, though still looking like he needs a good, long nap, has that glint of satisfaction in his eyes, a shared understanding with Barney that their bond and their team is unbreakable. Gina, Lash, and Galen stand a little taller, having truly proven their mettle under fire, their faces reflecting a newfound confidence and the quiet pride of a mission accomplished. Easy Day is probably already uploading mission reports, or perhaps looking up the nearest 5-star resort that accepts cash and doesn't ask too many questions. The banter is back, a familiar comfort, light-hearted jokes mixed with genuine expressions of respect and gratitude. There's a playful shove from Barney to Lee, a knowing glance between the new recruits, a shared laugh that cuts through the lingering tension. The subtle clink of a celebratory drink being poured, or the gentle thud of a bag being dropped, are the only sounds beyond their conversation. They survey the distant horizon, perhaps a lingering plume of smoke from the vanished ship, a visual reminder of the epic battle they just won. But there's no grimness, just a quiet acknowledgement of the sacrifices made and the bonds forged in the fires of combat. It's a moment of reflection, a chance to appreciate the sheer, glorious mayhem they've just survived. This sense of family, of loyalty, is stronger than ever. The older generation has passed the torch, but they haven't exactly retired it. They've just expanded the family. It's a satisfying, if somewhat predictable, conclusion to the immediate conflict, leaving the audience with a sense of closure, but also the distinct feeling that this particular band of geriatric ass-kickers and their new protégés will always be ready for the next global crisis. Because some people just never learn to stay home. The faint chirp of a distant bird is a gentle reminder that life, despite everything, goes on. And so do the Expendables, probably as the dust settles and the echoes of explosions fade. We're left with a profound sense of what it means to be truly expendable, yet entirely indispensable. This journey, fraught with danger and fueled by an unwavering spirit, reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the bonds of camaraderie and loyalty can illuminate the darkest paths. It's a testament to resilience, a beacon of hope showing that together, we can overcome any challenge. Let this story inspire us to value those around us, to stand firm in our convictions, and to never shy away from the battles that truly matter. For in unity, we find strength, and in courage, we discover our true potential. May we all face our own adventures with such unwavering spirit.